He's gonna be hitting record, everybody, so.
We're recording?
It was on. I'm waiting because it's easier to do it here and then move it. Are we ready?
Oh, there's start. All right.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty then.
Well, attendance, so we're missing Marcy.
Is she gonna be here or no?
Well, I thought she was. We had talked about
Maybe
she
she'll come in.
has to leave at 6, we got a town meeting. No Dave. And other than that, we're all good. You know about Dave?
I did not reach out to him today. I do not know.
All right, adopt the agenda. Looking for a motion.
Motion we adopt the agenda. Second.
Been moved and second, we adopt tonight's agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion carried. Consent items to approve the minutes from 9:25. Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
A second.
Motion made by Kathy, seconded by Bob. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Our call review. Do we have to sign these then?
Yes, sir.
It's already signed.
So, everybody's got a copy of their, report in their, packet. We do have a new set, and we're gonna start there because it kinda gives a graphical representation of how things are going for us this year, again, which we're excited about. What I will say is things have leveled off a little bit, accidents are less, we're getting fewer calls to Amazon, so we're stabilizing as we were kinda predicting, could be 1,300, we're probably gonna settle in 1,100 calls this year, should it keep its current pace. And that's neither here nor there. But this is just kind of, Jared, no, this one, this one.
It's
The next
on
page.
Oh.
Yeah, so
we're
you
all
just
on
kinda,
one page.
yeah, you kinda look,
I wonder I wasn't following you.
2024 is in red, 2025 is in blue, so,
Oh, okay.
but you can see, month over month, other than June, we're up, substantially. And then the other one's, it's a novelty, but it is, you kinda look at time of day, cause people wanna go, oh, is it an effect of people going to work at Amazon, leaving work? But that's just kinda a representation of during the day, what time these calls are coming in at. That's combined 2024, 2025.
Those from 9 to 5 then, pretty much.
Yeah, we have we flipped that at the city of South Bend, you might see something different. You see all the, activities at night, but anyway. So other things also stabilized, right? Number of runs, for September, we were, exact same numbers for the last 2 years, so, our training hours are still holding steady, so we're killing it there still. Inspection numbers are starting to creep up. It's becoming that time of year, so we're getting a lot of that stuff done. Plus, we're also counting in the Amazon inspections as well. And again, the breakdown by area served. So, Olive Township still remains pretty high on that chunk of calls. Our outside area where we're going and receiving is staying stable, and then we're still staying around that 25 to 27% range. The other nice piece is Chad's added this heat map to the bottom here, so you can kind of see where things are happening. Don't be alarmed, the ones at Notre Dame, because we provide an ambulance for the university. So.
What was that accident? Was it yesterday morning? Tuesday morning?
It was actually nothing. It was an accident, but nobody got
On the corner there? I mean, there was 15 cop cars out there, so that was no fatality. It looked bad when I drove up there, I just turned around.
No, actually, I think that we were disregarded once we got there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Didn't transport anybody anyway. Any questions on the calls?
Have we
You
had,
like these graphs that you do?
Yeah, it's very cool.
This is all data guy right here.
have we ever had any rear end collisions there at, Timothy? I'm just,
I don't recall any off the top of my head.
I just got a bugaboo about that, the way they did that intersection. Say you're driving past Amazon, you're gonna turn right into New Carlisle on Timothy. Well, there was never a turn lane there. Even though there's a lane there, they put bumps in there. So you have to drive and then turn at 55 miles an hour, make a right turn. With, could be trucks.
At my age, I just turn my blinkers on and slow down.
Yeah.
And if they wanna yell at me, because I'm an old man,
Well, I actually, slow extremely down there too, because the new thing, going down through that area is they blocked, the turns off, so you can't turn, if you're coming up Strawberry, right? You can't turn back to the west. They put those,
Yeah.
they look like toilet plungers, but.
They are.
But now people use that acceleration lane and they take off, and as soon as they get to the acceleration lane where those plungers go away, there's a cutout that goes back the other way, so they'll come from that lane across 3 lanes and then bust a U-turn. And it happens
Really?
almost every day when I go that way, and it's terrifying, so it's best to 45 miles an hour just so you can react and.
But anyway, going back to the other corner, if I'm not mistaken, they fixed it, and there was a little turn lane there, and there was not the bumps in there, so you could get off. And there should be one at, County Line Road also, it's the same thing. It's just a lot worse, cause you got that hill and trucks on your rear end there. Well, but now when they finished the road, they went back and did it again. They put the bumps in there and took out that turn lane, so now I think that's just horrible
I don't think
road
there was,
management.
I don't think there was a turn lane there. There was just,
Big shoulder.
because of the solid white line and just crossed over into it, that's what I did.
Yeah, either that or maybe they didn't have the bumps in there telling you not to do it or something.
I haven't counted.
And so
all.
people were just naturally turning in there, getting the heck out of the way. I have no idea, I've never seen on a highway where you have to go full speed on a highway and then turn right when there's a lane on there. I mean, the trucks behind you see that lane, right? Hey.
I thought
hell
lanes,
over.
was all, what the whole purpose of that was, acceleration lanes and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We gotta
that's what I thought too.
get a hold of the DOT for that,
Is that what that is?
I think so.
I just was wondering if we'd had any. rear end.
Contact your state representative.
Thanks, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, it took us 6 months to get a letter back from our state senator, because Tim and I complained about it. We
At
asked
least he
him-
got a response, right?
It was his suggestion, to put up temporary stoplights.
All right,
We just saw Tishka the other day, so. Anyway.
is there, anything else on the review,
No, thank you.
call review? All right, next item.
So I'm gonna talk briefly, and then I know Keith has some stuff to add to this piece. The big discussion at the township or the provider unit level is reconciliation of accounts, right? We have to establish a practice for billing, we have to establish a practice for receiving money, we have to establish a practice for how we receive money. So that's filtering back up to this board because, and we need to have a bigger discussion. But there, at some point, once we solve some of these issues, it's gonna come back to this, it affects all the taxpayers, right? And so when we have, what we call write-offs or whatever, because we have,
Uncollectibles.
uncollectible for some, whatever reason, it can be done at the fire department level, but I really think that it should come back to this board and say, okay, we have $10,000 in uncollectible debt, it needs to be written off. And then as a group, not only are you informed, but it's mostly your taxpayers anyway, right? It's the people that you represent, and then you just write it off. We have, as a township, some things that we still have to work through, right? We're still waiting on a response from Pete to understand ACH payments both ways, not only paying things to ACH, but receiving things to ACH, how that works. To answer one of the questions you had for us is, how do we bill? What established, so I did a little research on that. The state actually provides a code that allows us to bill. Indiana Code 27-13-7-27. But then I went down a rabbit hole with your email, and I'm not trying to lose anybody, but it's, EMS receivables and how State Board of Accounts looks at it. But if you go to State Board of Accounts and do a search on EMS receivables, you get 0 returns. So we have a lot of work to do. And so Keith, I'll let you talk a little bit about it, cause I don't wanna overtalk it, but.
No, you did a fine job of explaining, and that's about all I can say, you know, is that, we need to make sure that we have written procedures. I just, Josh, when you told Debbie that that's been changed,
Yeah.
I thought, that's wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, and and Austin, you know, I think I was at the same meeting 2 years ago, we voted in the policy to send bills for fire calls.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about it, okay, so we need to make sure that we have policies that allow us to bill, which you said is already granted us, but how we do it is required by the State Board of Accounts. The fact that you researched it like you did, you know, and come up with nothing surprises me.
Yeah, it is so, you know, you read the intent of what the state's trying to do, and then try to apply it to our situation. But there's not a lot of guidance, so you have to start talking around, right? So Keith talked to a bunch of people down at the Indiana ITA conference, the Township Association conference, and I've reached out to fire chiefs to kind of see, and honestly, they either don't know, from my side, is either they don't know or they're not doing it.
So we just have a company do it for them, and they really don't know
Well,
what the rules are?
so Chad, after our meeting, Chad's got some stuff to share with, did you bring it by any chance? Another sample size to try to start narrowing down what we're looking for. But it's just hard, right? It's not hard because we know that, Austin, we came to your house, we took you to the hospital, we sent you a bill for X, your insurance company paid Y. We're not balance billing, which means if your insurance company, well,
You get write-offs.
there's already a problem, because if you still owe on your deductible, then the patient is still responsible to pay that piece. So,
But it's not really a balance bill.
it's not a balance bill,
That's how the
it's a
insurance-
deductible. But if it's a Medicaid bill, then, they're only gonna pay $400 of the $1,600 that we paid you, and it's a federal law that we can't balance bill you, so that other $1,200 has to be written off.
Yeah.
So, to Keith's point, is we have to get that process in a written format
Yeah.
to be followed. Then, once we get that piece done, we need to make sure that, when the funds come into the account, that Tina's able to say, okay, Austin, they took you to the hospital on this date, we charged you this amount, your insurance paid this amount, and we received the deposit on this date. That way, we're being open, transparent, we're meeting the intent of the State Board of Accounts. But what we're struggling with is the State Board of Accounts isn't 100% clear, so we're just.
Have we contacted a representative?
Yeah,
There's really nobody, you have to go, basically accounting procedures dictate this, and then there's discussions, you know, about,
How to do that?
yeah, for some, you know, in business, it's pretty simple, you sell somebody something, you create a bill, it goes in the accounts receivable ledger report, you know, current transactions, and all the activity this month equals what went into the AR this, right now. The big thing to remember is as soon as you create that transaction, that's money. And the State Board of Accounts says that we need to track it. So we can't just,
What do doctors do? They would be in the same situation. They bill people, they don't have insurance, or they do have insurance.
That's it, cause my view on it, and I'm not an accountant by any means, is it's not money until it comes in. Because
Right.
we're not getting an option of what.
We're not
gonna
roughing
get
anybody
paid.
up that doesn't pay, huh?
so leaving the money out, you go back to yesterday, or last month, there was, you know, 60 ambulance runs. Okay, that means there are 60 transactions to account for in the system. Maybe 40 of those become receivables and 20 don't. So you track, you know, you need to make sure that you have the ability to identify every action that happened. And then you try to keep up with the dollars. And both should be balanced. That would be,
And hire somebody to do nothing but track it.
Yeah,
So that's when it comes down to.
That's a full-time job, if you're making
It
3 runs a
certainly
day.
again, you know, in a business, after that conference meeting, I'm convinced that it takes more paperwork to run a township than it does a business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've had plenty of experience doing accounting and business before.
Yeah.
It seemed like a whole lot simpler.
Yeah.
So who can write us those policies? That's the question, right?
So that's the thing, that
For us
the
to-
township is engaged for internal controls on a broader level
Mhm.
for the township, right? They have now this, I haven't seen it yet, but, internal controls that we're all gonna receive training on, maybe on the 4 or 5.
Well, we're gonna begin it. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but they just spell out how you receive money, how you know, they set limits for money that can be spent, or it's very broad.
Yeah.
But when we're getting in depth with this piece on funds that we don't know exactly how much we're gonna receive, it's gotta be more carefully crafted to make sure that A, we're meeting intent, B, we're tracking it properly, and C, it's getting deposited in the right account. So, we just need to keep you apprised of that, because again, we're gonna have to come back, we're gonna set this policy for write-offs, and we're trying to get it done, but, well, every time somebody goes somewhere, it's like, oh shit, we're not doing this either, or, we have somebody from the public come in and say, shoot, we're not doing this either. So it becomes just very complex, and I just wanna make sure that we're doing it right, because we've identified this, and, Keith has thrown out a ton of questions at us, and we're trying to leapfrog and make sure that they all go answered, right, wrong, or indifferent. We wanna make sure that the answer is the legal answer, so when the State Board of Accounts audits us, we can just lay it out and say, this is how we're doing it.
Would Andy Myers, I mean, a big outfit like these guys gotta have runs all day
We've already
long.
met with them, yeah.
They're in the same boat? They don't have a policy for write-offs?
They do have a write-off policy,
There you go.
Okay.
but again, that's a smaller piece of the picture. They also employ 3 or 4 people full-time to do it.
That's
But you think, what, they're running 16,000 medical calls a year, or 12,000?
Right, minimum.
Yeah, so, as compared to us, I think that we're gonna have to figure out the sets of information that we need to meet the state's desire, and then if we have to carve out somebody's time or part-time or whatever to fulfill that piece, we can do that too,
Okay.
so.
What, I wasn't here when Debbie came in from the restaurant there,
Yep.
but has that ever been rectified? I mean, is she satisfied with it?
It was rectified before she got here, she just didn't understand. So that was
Okay.
more of an explanation piece,
Okay.
but again, fire billing's gonna fall into that same bucket. It's different insurances regulated by different federal agencies, same state, it's not the same state statute, but there's other state statutes that provide that you can do that. So, it's just a matter of being a uniform policy that covers all the bases, to everybody's satisfaction, so.
So I understand we have write-offs from prior years that we'll have to take care of, but we're waiting to figure out the right policy. We'll
Yep.
approve the policy, go through it.
Yeah.
That
And-
might not
and
happen this year.
To Keith's point, we're gonna reestablish policies, right? Because I think that even though, you remember 2 years ago when we passed the Wicked Fire Bill, we probably just need to restate it or redo it and go forward with a clean slate.
How sure are we that we're claiming everything we should and doing it the right way? I mean, is.
I'm 100, I don't wanna get into that
Yeah.
percentages of, I believe that we're doing it right, I believe, but what I don't believe is that, it's one thing to say, we get from back to Austin's Run and we receive it into the account and then it gets accounted for, but it probably needs to be more detailed than that, right? It just doesn't need to be.
Or we need to get information that if it has to be more detailed.
Right.
And what more detail there has to be.
Right.
rather than going on assumptions.
Because
We need-
reconciliation happens on a very
Answer.
easy level, right? We get a deposit, we're providing reports now that says we receive these deposits on these days, so it's like a check mark in your checkbook, right? But is that the correct way of doing it? When the State Board of Accounts came in, that was one of the things they identified, and we've gotten to that point to meet that minimum standard, but I guess what I don't wanna do is to go another 5 years and find out we've been doing it wrong, and we've had this discussion. Even if we went through this whole exercise and the state was like, you don't need to do all that, I would rather do that than let it lie and be caught with our pants down.
How much are we talking about, do we usually take in a year?
I can tell you, what did we
Roughly.
project, I think we're projecting for next year like $225,000.
And is that as a portion of total receivables?
Yes.
That's the total, you're expecting a $250,000?
Yes, so, and I thought you were going somewhere else with that, but that $250,000 though comes off the tax books, right? So if I project that we're gonna take in $100,000 and we take in $200,000, that extra $100,000 just sits in the fire fund, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't, and you build and build and build and build.
Can we spend that on whatever?
You could
Okay.
theoretically. In the beginning, that was good, because in the beginning, we didn't have any money. We were taking out, tax anticipation loans, and so we were trying to build that piece. Now we've gotten to the point where we're self-sustaining. And so you want to get that number closer to what you're actually billing, because if I can collect every dollar of miscellaneous revenue, that means the taxpayer pays less on their tax bill. So it's a win-win. So for us to be efficient with this process, benefits taxpayers.
Okay, so you're billing for a certain amount, and then you're writing off a proportion of that, and the $500,000 is what you're estimating you'll actually collect.
$250,000.
$250,000.
Yes, that would be the actual collection.
So what would what are you actually billing to receive that $250,000? Is it you're billing a $500,000 and receiving half of it?
We'd have to,
Okay, well, I'm just,
yeah, but that's
So-
part of this, I mean.
yeah, absolutely.
I can tell you right now, in rough numbers, year to date, we have billed 441,000 and received 237,000.
Yeah, so about half, roughly.
And then the actual receipt amount, is that because of the lag with insurance coming through, paying for it?
It does, so, what, the AR is what,
Right now, 119 days.
119 days. That's probably gonna get flipped on its head.
Average.
What is it?
Outstanding days, basically.
Oh,
Your aging report, you're basically,
Yeah.
um,
But the big thing is like Medicare.
Right,
You can bill them whatever you want, they're gonna pay you what they pay you.
yeah.
right.
And
I
you
can
do
give you an example.
Medicaid's the same way.
I can give you an example of that. So we need to reestablish our rates, because in the beginning, when we established our rates, we established them high, and I think ALS 2 was $1,600 or,
1,100, I think.
that was the ALS
Uh,
one. But you establish your rates, so we go out to the nursing home, pick somebody up, it's an ALS 1, or ALS 2 call, which is the severest piece. We send the bill to Medicaid for $1,100, and they're only gonna pay $400, period. So there's a little bit of, so when you talk about that write-off amount, there's zero we can do to control that. You can bring that rate down, but it doesn't benefit us, because when we go to, Keith's house and he's on private insurance, his insurance company is gonna pay pretty close to that rate. So, now, there's a national trend that you try to keep close, but it never hurts to overstate your fee. Because you're always covered, because they do change, much like Social Security, they change every year how much they pay for things.
Yeah.
So if you're always above that rate, The only problem is your write-offs look worse, your write-offs look at like
Yeah,
50%.
that's,
It's
To be
pretty
expected.
much just like a hospital, that they'll bill you $75,000 and by the time Medicare and whatever goes through it, now it's maybe down to 25 and now your insurance is picking it up. So
So as an
they're writing off a
example,
lot.
in April, I had a stent placed, right?
Mm.
And, the hospital bill was $150,000. The VA paid $15,000. And it's federal insurance, so there's no balance billing, so I'm not gonna get a bill for, you know, remainder of $135,000. Additionally, the thing that ambulances have to kind of worry about is, it's called the Surprise Act. And that's been kind of back and forth, but what the Surprise Act does is you can't get a service and not know what it cost. Right, so, you can't surprise bill people. The intention is that you don't get these huge bills.
It's a federal or state?
Federal.
That's correct.
Well, no, I don't wanna misspeak. I thought that was a federal, maybe a state, maybe that was a federal mandate that the states adopted.
So, from what I'm understanding, we need, if we can't reach out to the SBOA and say, hey, can you write us a policy and we'll just implement it, if they're not gonna do that, then do we just write a policy and email it to them and it sits in their inbox and it says, hey, we're gonna approve this on such and such date, unless you let us know that we can improve it somehow.
Yeah, and I guess the point of this is to understand, that's what we're working through.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna write it?
No, well, Keith's got 1,000 good questions,
Yeah.
and we're kind of working through that piece.
And those questions are to try to dot all the i's and cross all the t's.
Yeah.
You know, they're not like, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
It's just.
No, I'm on board. Well, who would we have
It's
write?
just that this board, the point of this conversation was to engage, this board is the most appropriate to look at the details of this.
Mhm.
At the way I see it, at the township level, we just have to be able to say that the bulk amounts were handled correctly, that the activity last month, this is the way I think it should be, has increased our account receivables,
Mhm.
okay, like the whole total, and that the payments decreased that amount. And that the amount last month adds to all of the previous months, and then what we got paid decreases that. And the differences need to be explained either by write-offs or what, you know, but we would be, the township would be looking at more the macro level. And this board would be looking at the details of, okay, the ambulance went out 10 times yesterday, but, you know, there were six bills created, 4 were okay, and then that those all got resolved. Everything that happens gets resolved. And if an auditor comes in, they can go pick any day out of the month
Yeah.
and say, show me how these got out. Show me what the status of all these transactions is. That would be the goal.
Absolutely. No, I understand. Okay.
It's not rocket science, but it's
Somebody's
A
gonna
mess.
write it, yeah.
So, more to come on that, I take it then?
Yep, it's just a work,
It's a
just to kind of
process.
keep you guys up to
Okay.
speed what we're doing.
And
Who's gonna, I'm sorry, who is gonna write that policy?
So currently, and it may change, the township is working with Baker Tilly to
Right.
work through, yes. So as we
You
identify
can
these
set-
things, we create a process by which to do them, and then we write a policy based around that process.
So the township will be expected to approve some policy, and then will we also be expected to approve some form of policy, or is this?
I would think, what I just said was that when the policy when it gets done, we may create it, but working with Baker Tilly, we may create it, but you would look at it first.
Yeah.
And we would make sure that it meets our needs,
Absolutely.
is how I would
I
think.
wasn't too happy with them on their interpretation of this, tax situation, and that was a garbled mess there they gave us, and pretty confusing.
Yeah, and
So,
we'll
I'm glad
talk
that's
about
over
that
with.
under old business.
Hey, question here, I might have to leave now to go
That's fine.
to a meeting, but I was gonna call Marcy, but I don't have her number.
Marcy did text me. She
Oh.
said she had to prepare for the meeting, and I told her I would get her up to speed afterwards.
I know, I'm not worried about that, but if they're talking about the salaries for everybody, I wanna be there, which might be the first thing. Do you have her number?
Oh,
Let me just call her and see what's on the agenda for that meeting there, if I could.
574-3339-9795. so everybody's listening out in,
No, yeah, okay, for,
You gotta put a little bleep in there.
She is a public official.
yeah.
Um,
Go ahead, continue on without me if you would.
Is there nothing else to, do on the item number 4, the account
no, so that,
reconciliation?
that should be, we should be good for now.
Before we do that, what's going on with, old business?
Alright, so old business and wait to kind of, talk to, Jerry. The one thing, so,
Hey,
we know.
do
that
I need to be there now? What's on the agenda you guys got?
The,
Okay, okay. All right, I can, all right, I'm on my way, thanks.
we passed the,
It's coming back.
excess levy appeal.
Yes.
It's broken now, that was our only cable that worked.
I gotta go.
Okay,
I can send you the file if you need it for your website.
All right, see
thanks,
ya.
Jerry.
Yep, thank you.
We passed the, excess levy appeal, right? And, you know, for everybody in this room, that was a very easy process, right? I know that we had to, reach back out to, Hudson and Olive and to kind of revise.
I'm sorry, do I need to sign something in there?
Thanks,
All right.
Jerry.
Keep up the good work. So I saw one of the next meeting days at the end of,
20th,
the week before Thanksgiving.
yep.
All right, thank you guys.
Start from the top.
Alright, so.
Excess levy appeal.
So we passed the excess levy appeal, we had to reach back out because everybody passed it. And I had provided the town with a kind of a one pager that kind of described that process. And we talked about, it's not gonna affect your taxpayers, and I was equating it to budget, Baker Tilly was equating it to levy. And so it's, in practice, it's the same thing, right? In semantics, it's not. In semantics, is that you're voting to increase the levy. Well, we voted to increase the levy, but we never filed for that increase. We just want the capability to expand it later. We basically wanna raise it, we wanna leave it here, but we wanna raise it. I was equating it to the budget to say, you know, once we increase the budget, well, that's the wrong terminology. So, there could be some potential impact, there could be some potential impact for Hudson Lake and the town. But
That's if we vote for it.
that's if you vote for it. That's if I come to you and say, I need $460,000 for this.
Yeah.
That's when it becomes impactful. So that's the point I was trying to get across to the town.
Mhm.
Well, the town kind of spun it as I was misleading them and it just kind of turned a little ugly. But what we identified in that process is that this board is imperative to communicate to your other board members. For you guys here, it's easy, because you both, right now, you have 3 on the board, so that's, well,
It's not my whole board, but
right,
I can communicate it.
you can communicate it. You're 2 of 3, so you can communicate it. And we're part of the township anyway, so we're in this constant chain of communication. For the town, it typically stays with Jerry and Marcy. And the other board members are frustrated, and I
How many
understand.
board members did that?
5.
Well, yeah.
And when
That's
you,
difficult.
when you go to the meetings and they, you know, oh, how about the fire, Jerry? Oh, things going well,
Oh, no,
and
okay.
that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's a communication breakdown. So I'm not preaching to the choir, because you guys do a great job, but I do need to instill in Jerry and Marcy that communication is imperative. And if we can do anything on Chad and I's level to get this information, I don't like sending unapproved minutes, because that can also be misleading. So there is a delay, and that's okay, that's just how that goes. But I think it's imperative that as we're getting through this piece, and I talked to both the board members that voted no, and I said, there's 0 hard feelings, I understand that you felt like you were rushed and you didn't get all the information, and I appreciate that. But understand, before I need this money, I will be back here to ask you for it. And that's it, that's my pledge. So, that's my soapbox for that bit. I just, it's, communication is imperative. It
That was
does-
aggravating that those guys didn't know anything about
And it
that.
also, it speaks volumes too, that they schedule a special meeting over our meeting.
Yeah,
Two of their members are supposed to be here, but they schedule a meeting when they know that we already have ours.
Right.
Yeah.
And just choose not to be here.
I mean, I know for me, I communicate as best as I can to my
Oh,
board members.
absolutely, I've been to your
but-
meetings and
but-
you do.
But both of my, well, hey, as best as I can, to the one you guys made, but anyway, I know that my board members, when they had questions, I was just directing them straight to the videos, I upload, and I tell them everything that you wanna know, I ask questions about it, it's on there, and if you have any further questions, they can reach out to you too. What are the chances that the other board members are being directed to these resources?
none.
I would say, that- I don't wanna play defense. They have a lot of stuff going on,
Sure.
but so does everybody. We all do. I think at this point, you know, I thought at one point, when we were meeting at the library, that we could get away with quarterly meetings. There's zero, I see zero future for that piece. I think it's just, this has to be what it is. But again, when you wait till last minute to make these decisions, and, you know, I'm just gonna tell you, they get input from people that I don't think, like, the town engineer's putting his input into our excess levy appeal. I don't think that's your business. Your business is the sewer, he's a contractor. He doesn't live in New Carlisle, he's not. Stay in your lane. My opinion, I'm happy to tell him that.
That's fascinating. Where is he from?
South Bend. And he works for the county, so in my opinion. Never mind, I'm just gonna leave my opinion out of it. So, what I would say though is I don't beat that horse, cause you guys do a great job. I'm at the township meetings, and your meetings are awesome. I know that sometimes the town gets inundated because there's a lot of demands being made of them to provide services for these developments, and right, wrong, or indifferent, they have to deal with it. So, I'm not making excuses, but they have to do a better job. They have to, so.
I'm very glad you were able to get it in the same day.
Yep. Like, I actually stayed there because they were like, oh, we're gonna email it now, and I said, well, include me on the email, cause I wanna make sure it goes. And so, and then about an hour later, I got the confirmation from Paige and the state of Indiana, so.
Any other old business?
No, sir.
New business? Any new business?
Okay, I do, and so this is, next month, the Portage Township trustee would like to attend the meeting.
Cool.
And kind of talk about, what a merger could look like, impact that it could have on our taxpayers, impact it could have on their taxpayers. And, I kind of at first, was hesitant, right? I know that we've had our differences, there, but, we've been fostering that relationship a little bit. Shouldn't get Chrysler anymore, I don't think. That's a term that we use.
Where are they? I don't, why can I not?
Here and part of here.
That's Portage?
This is Warren and Portage. They're in a fire territory, so this unincorporated line,
It's technically most of the city of South Bend is Portage Township also,
Yeah.
but it's incorporated.
it's this lighter yellow here. the
So we're
darker-
talking about the unincorporated
Portion, yeah.
and Warren?
And Warren. So you would, you make the assumption that we're gonna build a new station out here, you'd go to a 5-station system.
How many do they have?
Currently, they have 3, yeah. There's some things to work through. I will tell you, their ideology is they wanna get it done, like, they'd like to get it done by March 30th. I think that's a little aggressive, my opinion, because I think that seeing how we've done this in the past, it's better for us to digest that piece and better understand it and not try to give me a 30-minute sales pitch and then try to make an informed decision off of it.
Who would be here to explain the difference, what we could be facing? Could we bring in anybody, or will you be explaining that?
So
difference, or-
so the one thing I will tell you is they've already studied our areas, right? They've already paid for that tax impact study, so they know all that information.
Mhm.
In my opinion, you could invite whoever you want. right? But what I would say is I would use it as just a fact finding.
Okay.
Don't feel pressured by anything. I'm gonna have a conversation with him prior to this to set expectation, because I don't want this unrealistic is, we're gonna dump this on you in November, we'd like to start our meetings in January. That's, for me, that's unrealistic.
Yeah.
But,
It needs to be a meeting, not a pressure sales tactic.
right,
Can I ask best case, worst case? So let's say they come in here, we're all walking away like, why wouldn't we do this? What would the process be like? Who has to approve it before we would move forward?
so
Forget time.
nobody has to approve anything. That's actually the beautiful piece of that. If you guys came to a gentleman's agreement,
Whatever. I'm not offended.
but each board said, okay, well, let's set up public meetings. Public meetings, they're non-binding. They're just informational meetings for the public, to receive that public feedback. That's actually how they'll probably pitch it. And then, if at the end of those meetings, boards are like, man, this is a really good idea, yeah, you can pull the trigger. You can definitely go, done.
And it would need to be approved by each individual party
Every-
and this board?
Every board. So it would start here,
Mhm.
it's Hudson Board, Olive Board, and in the town.
And then
And then there are two boards.
Very good. And, then only one of them has to say no if it's a bad idea for their
Correct.
constituents.
Yep.
Okay.
And then it's just a dead deal.
And
So-
we've been through that before.
Yes, and it's very tenuous, man. I still have like nightmares about that, because people, to their credit, they get it. I got it. But I think
Still
at this
need the
point,
New Carlisle Fire Department?
no, we probably have, well, I think that Chad and I know that's putting the cart before the horse, but Chad and I kind of talked about that. You need to have one cohesive name, but everything out here is still gonna say New Carlisle on it, right? It- Somehow, some way, it's gonna identify as us. Same over there, it's still gonna say Portage Township in some manner, it'll say Warren Township in some. Because I don't believe that losing that identity is in the best interest of our communities. I mean,
Clearly, they think it's a good idea. They did the studies, so it's at least benefiting their constituents if something like this would go through. That's why they wanna do this. Have they scheduled this, or are they gonna be here at the next meeting?
they've asked, and I told them that I would bring here, I said I don't see it really being a problem because it's just information, but
Motion?
if, that's up to you all.
I'd make a motion to invite them.
We don't need a motion.
Invite them. I say.
Okay.
Yeah, you know,
Done deal.
Let's get the information.
I actually will provide you guys, either tonight or tomorrow with the tax, because I already have it.
Oh.
But that's just, so you can be educated when it gets here, I mean.
Perfect.
Does this preclude other ideas of,
No. We actually have a meeting
Territories.
tomorrow, and Carl is coming,
Who's Carl?
Baxmeyer.
Commissioner?
He's
And he's kinda leading that charge for the other option, but the problem with the other option is, so, right now, this, Indian Village?
Everything north of the city.
Yeah, everything north of the city here is covered by clay fire. They are,
Cause the city goes to the county line,
yep,
the state line.
Yeah.
so literally, now, so this and this are in their own. And so now they're talking about combining this. But they wanna get to here, but they're very,
Protective of their.
conservative in the manner of they just got out of a bad relationship with here.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's something.
well, it's some philosophical differences. And these don't really want, so what they're trying to do is they're trying to unify this whole thing.
Okay.
But there's just some issues with the way they're doing it. So we're gonna try to get an update on that tomorrow and see where that's at. Because my opinion is that if anybody comes and asks me what our plan is, my ears are open. I'm gonna listen, we're gonna figure out how we can do something. But you can't tell me that you're trying to make this whole thing and you've not talked to me once.
Yeah.
And I'm nobody special. But if you wanna make this work here,
yeah,
you
right.
should definitely.
You're special to me.
Well, I appreciate that, I appreciate that. But what I would say is that we should at least get the heartbeat of how how New Carlisle feels about it.
Mm.
Don't just, and you guys understand when I say New Carlisle, that I'm just meaning
Well,
our,
yeah,
we're.
My address has New Carlisle. I think.
Right. So, I think it's, I think it's a great idea, don't get me wrong, I think execution is horrible right now. And I'm not trying to say they don't get an opportunity to fix that, but you need to be transparent with what you're doing, and I don't believe that that's happening.
Okay.
So how is this gonna impact these trucks that we have on order and the
That's what
station
tomorrow's
that's in
about.
the-
To kind of give you guys,
Yeah, how are we closing in on that? Let's get to that after, go ahead.
Well,
Finish your thought.
that's pretty much this, so we'll get him invited here, I'll set some expectations.
Okay.
And just so your expectation is, I treat it as a sales pitch.
Sure.
He is a eloquent speaker, he,
Who is this gentleman?
his name is, Jason Frischland,
In his role?
is the Portage Township trustee. He's the provider again, he's what Olive Township is,
Okay, for Warren and,
yes,
okay. And they're a package deal.
yes.
We couldn't just scalp the Warren if we wanted to. Can we do that study?
Yeah, they're-
I make a motion to fund that study.
I would say,
Let's hear them out.
yeah, let's hear him out.
But you already have the numbers. Have you gone through it in much detail? What can you
Well,
tell
the
us?
first set of numbers were on pieces of paper and I was missing. He sent me the packet late yesterday.
Okay,
So I've not
absolutely.
had a lot of time to digest it.
Totally understand.
So what I would say, so back to your other piece, trucks and station and all that. To
This
give you,
is him, so you have a clue what he looks like.
Okay.
so to kind of give you the high overview of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
We've met a little resistance with the county and their commitments.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice.
And so tomorrow, we basically, the first truck that we've kind of committed to is due to start construction. Well, I would have thought it would have been ready, but it's a little backed up.
Is this the brush truck?
Yeah.
Okay. But we
So
need
we-
that either way, right?
Right, but well, no,
You need a brush.
we need a brush truck, but
Not that.
if they're not gonna pay for it, then we're gonna kind of shift gears on how we approach that.
Okay.
So we're gonna,
What is the meeting tomorrow?
it's just a meeting to talk about these issues.
With,
With the county commissioner, our county counselor, Will.
Yeah.
Chad, I think that's probably it.
Pretty
But
much,
we have our cancellation paperwork,
we need some concrete commitments.
we have our cancellation paperwork for that first truck.
it handled.
We have it
In hand.
it's done.
Oh, it's done. You just have to turn it in.
We haven't submitted it yet.
Yeah. When does it have to be submitted by last minute?
Before we would, go to this pre-construction meeting, which means we go there, we confirm all of our options and sign our name. So,
When is that?
we don't know, well, it should have happened, it was supposed to be in October,
It was postponed.
but it's not been postponed, the date's not been set yet,
Okay.
because
We got time.
if anybody gets a little bored,
Hmm.
I want you to go, to YouTube and look up, Josh Howley, and, fire truck apparatus hearing. I think that's probably a good time, you'll find it.
How do you spell Holly?
Howley, he's the senator from,
Apparatus? Fire truck apparatus?
fire truck apparatus, he's a senator from Missouri. So, basically, I would say all, it's absolute, a majority of the large fire truck manufacturers have been put into an antitrust suit by the Federal Trade,
Commission?
FTC. Because the accusation is that they're inflating these lead times and doubling costs for their profit. So that hearing is very interesting, and the deflection that you hear is concerning. So, the problem is that we don't have any,
Just started.
it's just started, we have no choice. I mean, literally, even if they were found guilty, they're gonna pay their fine, and this stupid backlog, this, whether it's real or not real, is still gonna be there. And so, it's gotta play out, but it's very interesting to see what's going on with that piece. So, if we can't get a firm commitment, we will cancel that truck. Chad and I have actually come up with an emergency plan, to, basically buy a stock, 3/4 ton with a, one ton with a truck box on it
And outfit it yourselves?
and outfit it ourselves. We'll put a pump on it, we'll put lights on it.
Yeah.
That's not optimal.
Is that satisfactory?
It's called a skid mount pump.
So it's an emergency?
Slides in. It would be good.
It would be good.
Yeah.
Why say we do that?
Well, the nice thing about the purpose built is it's purpose built. And so what we're basically doing is like a stopgap measure. We would keep it and we would keep it until the truck wore out. It would go through a normal life cycle. But in the end, we could have advantages with the other unit.
Yeah.
And if somebody else is paying, you know what I mean?
Oh,
So, and we think that we could do it for maybe 1/3 of the cost, maybe a little bit more than that.
when are the other trucks due? So this one wasn't, the date wasn't set, so excuse me
Yeah.
for that, it wasn't pushed back, but it's
It's
pending.
still in line, it's still pending. It's literally, I mean, he could call me tomorrow and say, hey, we're scheduled to go in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we've not received that call yet,
Yeah.
so I still feel secure in and again, until we go do it, there's no obligation.
Okay, so.
Or
What
until
about
they
the
call
other-
you.
No, it's still in, cause there has to be one final document signed.
Yeah.
And so that will,
And you won't sign that without a commitment, right?
correct,
That's the idea.
and a written commitment,
Yeah.
not just a verbal, because,
Cause we've had that.
and, then we were told that we were given no guarantees.
Yeah.
In a public meeting, he told me,
Okay.
we've never made any guarantees.
I love that.
Nice.
And I said, okay.
When are the other trucks? We have another year on those?
We probably have another 2 years on those.
Okay.
So, we have time, so, but that's just a bargaining chip, I mean, and I know that anybody can look at this video and see me saying it, but it is a bargaining chip.
Can you let us know, I mean, I know what, can you let us know that, the outcome of that meeting?
Tomorrow,
As soon as
absolutely.
possible,
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be great.
I'll probably be typing while we're,
Yeah.
but I would say, so, that's kind of that, just that spiel of that, you know, we don't have, we're exploring some other issues, or not some other issues, some other options. We met with an investment banker that could do some bond work, who's very bright, who actually has solved the problem of also staffing without affecting current taxpayers. That's gonna come up at the meeting, next week. You're gonna actually, as soon as we get the email from him, the Olive Township board members will get, what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish with it. It's a non-binding agreement with Baird, and Baird, could do all the bond work and all that stuff. But with that, we would get a commitment with the county to pay for the staffing and the station. Yes, it's pretty exciting, and he's pretty, like I said, he's bright. So that's really all, that's the update on that. I have one other piece of new business, if we're all okay with leaving that there. Soon, we will be looking to purchase a new Tahoe. We have, the pricing for all that. The idea,
The electric?
no, I wish, man,
What's the Tahoe? What's the purpose of the truck?
for the fire marshal, that was a piece of that hire that we were gonna purchase one. He's in the training vehicle right now. The training vehicle right now started to rust, and so it's not unsuitable for a daily driver. I don't wanna position it as that. But we budgeted for next year, the payments wouldn't be till next year, so, we're waiting on a price for the lighting package before I bring it back to this board for approval, and then it'll go to the township board, so. The price of the truck is $54,000, whatever.
Really? It has to go to all the boards, right?
Nope, it'll go to this board, and then go to the, borrowing entity. Yep,
Is that what we budgeted for?
Yep.
Awesome.
yep. So, that's all I have. I will tell you guys, I appreciate it. It's been a good year. I know we have 2 more meetings. We're gonna get a lot crammed into those 2 meetings, but, you know, as we have time to breathe and appreciate the holiday season's coming up, understand that if we don't get this interaction at these next couple meetings because of all the ancillary stuff going on with having guests and all that stuff, I appreciate you guys, the support has been overwhelming, and, I hope that we do justice what you've provided for us, right? I mean, yeah, we love our jobs, right? And it's weird, you know, people, I'll use my wife as an example, you know, she likes her job, but she goes, you actually love your job, and I go, you're right, I love my job. I'm to work early in the morning, Chad rolls in, and I cannot tell you the sense of accomplishment that we feel by you letting us do this job. So I appreciate you, and I look forward to the coming years, but don't think by when we start talking about mergers that this place is so important to us that this is ours, right? This is ours, and that's never gonna get lost, ever.
We get to continue to have the meetings here though, right?
Wherever you want.
Well, yeah, I'm interested. Thank you so much for that. I completely agree. And I think you guys are doing a great job. Do you have something else?
I gotta take off.
I was about to make a motion
Yeah.
to adjourn.
Okay. I'm a guest speaker at the Galeen Historical Society.
Oh, awesome!
Giving a Vietnam speech.
I thought you looked a little
Second
dressed
key?
up.
Yeah.
Churching it up for this meeting, I thought.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thanks,
have a
guys,
good one, everybody.
appreciate it.
Well, I will watch next month's meeting, once you post it.